ADA Committee. Welcome to the November 18th, 2021 ADA Committee meeting. Please look at the screen of your devices. An image of the flag is displayed. Please join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Staff, will you please do the roll call?
Committee Member Clark.
Here.
Committee Member Jenkins. Committee Member Levy.
I'm here.
For the records, Samantha Gwaltney is attending on behalf of Karine Levy. Committee Member Labou.
Here.
Committee Member Mills.
Here.
Committee Member Pancho. Chair Seidel.
Oh, I'm here.
Committee Member Williams. And Committee Member Bajorek. Madam Chair, we do not have quorum physically present. We have only 4 members of the committee present at this time. We require 5.
Hi, Lena. It's Melanie. I'm present.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
She just said we only have 4. We still need one more to vote in the minutes, so you would have to skip the minutes. Okay.
Is there anyone who signed up to speak today? Okay. Next on the agenda is the ADA Accessibility Committee Bylaws Update. Greg Brackton, Director of Operations Support, ADA Officer. You are now recognized.
Good afternoon. Greg Brackton, Director of Operations Support, ADA Officer for HART. Today we wanted to bring back to this committee, I know it's been a long time out there. Our bylaws have not been updated, and there's some things that we're doing now that aren't in compliance with what our actual bylaws are. And they have been that way for many, many, many years, but I thought it was time to bring them up to the current standards and codes that we're participating in and running by here on a monthly basis. So the name of our committee is the ADA Accessibility Committee, and is known as the committee. It serves as an advisory role to the HART, Hillsborough Area Regional Transit. The committee assists HART in serving the persons with disabilities in an effort to ensure compliance with Americans with Disability Act. We review HART policies and projects, provide advice to HART regarding disability issues arising thereof, serve as a liaison between HART and the public for persons with disabilities. When a concern or accessibility complaint is made regarding HART services and facilities, the committee will work with HART to resolve the issues, advises and informs HART on the disability issues, and advocates for accessibility for persons with disability using HART services. Some of the things that are in there is our committee makeup, and there are term limits listed in there. I've sent all of you the packet with the ADA Accessibility Committee bylaws in it. So we just wanted you to take a look at them so the next meeting we can address some of those items out there. There were some term limits in there, and I know for a fact Gloria's been on this committee for a very long time. Sandra's been on a long time. Scott's been here a long time. But if you actually read the bylaws, It says, I believe it's a 2-year term or 1-year term with a 1-year additional term. So a total of 2 years is all you can be on this committee. So, those are the type of things that I want to bring up and get them updated and, get them so it's a true factual representation of what we're doing here on a quarterly basis. So I don't want to take up a lot of your time today. I just wanted you to have a chance to take a look at those and really to make suggestions. You can either send them on to Lena, to myself, or Kimley, any suggestions that you may have. And then we'll come back at our next quarterly meeting and we'll bring those suggestions and comments and bring it to the committee for approval. Any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the chair's report. I had the opportunity to ride HART Plus again, and usually the wheelchair people will sit in the back, and we get a very jostle-type ride. This time, they put me in the front of the van behind the drivers. It was a very smooth ride, so I want to compliment the drivers and HART Plus for letting us do that. It's a much easier ride for those of us in wheelchairs. As far as the bus service goes, again, I'm only on one bus route. There are no operator IDs on the scroll. On Route 38, especially at the 10 a.m. run from Net Park to Brandon, there are no announcements being made. Otherwise, most of the other times on that route, the volume is so low that nobody can hear it. I normally take Yellow Cab. The past 2 weeks, I've had a lot of late appointments, drivers not showing up, and I know that the Brandon area needs more drivers there. We only have one basic driver in the Brandon area, so I'm hoping that Yellow Cab will step up and get some more drivers. I know they got the cabs out there, but we do need more drivers on the east end of the county. Next is HART Plus and Customer Choice Voucher Program update. Greg Bracken.
I just want to start out by, Sandra, if you have those kind of events with Yellow Cab, make sure you call us, Kimley, at our customer service line, and make sure we get those registered so we can investigate them, because they are contracted to us to perform our service that we contract them to do, and we do hold them accountable. I actually met with them a week ago and had that same discussion with them, so please let us know and we'll address those. So. We continue to gain ridership back. Our paratransit division has definitely been creeping up on ridership month by month. This is for October. We had 14,373 trips provided. Our on-time performance for the month for pickup window was 89.15. And our on-time performance for appointment times was at 98.52%. We are expanding our paratransit group. I have a new class of 8 students scheduled to start on 11/29, and they take about 7 weeks to get through our training process. So as we see the growth in our ridership, we're being prepared to make sure that we can provide that service to our customers. Yellow Cab for the month of October provided 3,117 trips. Of that, 1,699 were wheelchair trips. Their on-time performance for the trips that they provided is 3.98% were late. We do have penalties still associated with them as well. that we are imposing on them when they are not in compliance with our contract that they have out there. We have done, I just ran the numbers from our start of the Customer Choice Program. We have done 361,833 trips since 2016 on the Customer Choice. That's a pretty good, hefty number, and it's actually saved the company a little over $4.5 million since its inception here. So it's been a very popular program for us. Like I said, our ridership is going up. We're doing the scheduling. We're back to at least 4 on a vehicle. We're releasing a little bit of the COVID restrictions, but we're still leaving the room for the spacing, appropriate spacing on the vehicles. I will answer one of your questions about the wheelchair positions. The new standards, the wheelchair positions are staggered. We will no longer have the wheelchair positions at the back door. So the ones with the wheelchair positions at the back door are the older fleet, but all the new ones will have the split locations where it allows accessibility in case there was an emergency to get out of the vehicle.
Thank you.
When they were at the back, if something happened, then the doors were blocked. The back entrance door and the wheelchair all at that same area. So this splits it up so there's more accessibility if we do need to get people out in case of an emergency. So
That's great. Thank
Yep.
you.
That's it for me.
Okay. Next, we have the basic transit infrastructure update. Dwayne Brown, Project Manager 1. Dan Rodriguez, Project Manager 3.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dwayne Brown, the BTI Program Manager for HART, and I'm just going to give you a quick update on some of the projects that we have going on. Currently, we have 9 projects that are in various stages of construction, and here's an overview of where the projects are located. It's a little bit hard to see there, but we have them all over the county. The first project we have a project that's in construction, and it's at Yukon and 26 right near Rolette Park. Construction began on October 20th. It's about halfway done right now. I would have some pictures, but we did this a little bit earlier. But I'll have pictures in the next update. We have a project that's in pre-construction right now. That's at Rome Avenue and Hillsborough Avenue. It was approved on the 15th November committee meeting, and it's on the consent agenda for the December 6th board meeting. Just one update to kind of let you know what's going on. So with that project, it's probably going to get started around early January, maybe February. But just to give you an idea, in case you see projects out there and you see them going slow, with the new infrastructure bill that just got passed, we're going to have to be sharing some of the resources and some of the stuff that goes on with huge projects, like when FDOT is building roads and bridges and all this kind of stuff. We're using the same resources that they're using, and so they normally suck all the resources out, and then we kind of get left on the back end. So when you see those projects going and they're taking a little bit of time, it's because they're trying to get these nutrients. We're trying to get the same resources that huge projects are getting. So just to kind of let you know, we're gonna do the projects. It may take a little bit longer because of resource availability and the supply chain. So we also have a project that's waiting for bid right now. The BTI General Construction Services contract that went to the committee on November 15th, and it got approved for solicitation. and it should be on the December board meeting for consent. So we have a project that's in permitting right now, and that's Armenia at Hillsborough. Currently, we are waiting on an easement from the property owner of the CBS property owner. There was a few items that we had to work out between our legal and their legal, and our legal worked it out, and we sent the final document over for their signature. So we're just waiting for a signature back on that easement so that we can get the permit for that. We have 4 projects that's in design currently, and right now the Causeway Boulevard near Highway 301, that's still waiting on a review for environmental review, and the other 3 we have in design right now. We're reviewing the designs for them right now. And then that's my report for BTI. We have Dan Rodriguez is going to give an update on the UATC project.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and committee members. UATC, again, my name is Dan Rodriguez, Project Manager with the PMO here at HART. I'd like to give you a quick update at UATC, just a quick history. The project is to replace some landing pads and sidewalk on the 27th Street side of the Transit Center. So, just to address issues with slopes and sidewalk grades. In this photo, you can see on the left side was the original sidewalk and landing pads. As you can see, they didn't always line up with the bus. And the grade was extremely steep, depending on the mobility device that you used. On the right, you're going to see that we poured an elevated sidewalk with landing pads. This is actually looking from the driveway down towards the VA. So that portion was done just 3 or 4 weeks ago. We are now at the point where we have poured all the curbing, done all the sidewalk from the driveway down to the VA, as well as from the driveway up to 132nd Avenue. Right now, we are working. In this picture, you see there's a utility pole that's kind of in there. We have taken that pole out. We've also removed some trees that were kind of overhanging the sidewalk and kind of uplifting some of the old panels, so that doesn't happen in the future. So that we cleared that out. We have a good 8-foot sidewalk, for about almost 500 feet, as well as we have now 8 bus bays. So we're going from 3 to 4 buses we're able to pull up on 27th Street. Now you're going to be able to pull up almost 8. So it's a lot more access, helps relieve the platform on the transit center. It helps also just buses, in case they run late or they run early, they have places to pull up and then circle into the center. Upcoming work right now that's left. We have some sodding, some restorations still left to do around the pads. We also have a new fence that's going up. We took that old, nasty, rusted green fence that was around the transit center. We took that off, so that's pending. We have some striping that's going to be done this week. So the remill and resurface at the bus bay is complete. Once the striping is done, we should be almost ready to roll. The schedule originally was to be to the end of the year, but thanks to operations, we were able to close the street in one direction, giving the contractor more access. So it looks like we're going to be at least 3 weeks ahead of schedule. And we had a couple of change orders to do some additional sidewalk panels and some trees and stuff like that, but we're well under our budget. So I think this project is going to be a great success. It's going to be a tremendous improvement from what there was before, and I look forward to everybody enjoying that new area there. And that's my update.
Dan, I don't want to put you on the spot. Can you give an update on the autonomous vehicle rerouting?
Yes, the autonomous vehicle is now going to be up and running over by the Armature Works. It's going to be heading down, I believe that's Doyle, down Doyle. That kind of follows the Riverwalk. It's going to stop at the Waterworks. Then it's going to move down to, what's the name of the housing for the UT? It's a hotel, Barrymore Hotel. And then it's going to move down to the Strass Center and end around the Children's Museum, turn right around and go right back the same way. That has been approved by NHTSA. It has been approved by the City of Tampa. It's ready to go. We have tried it. Unfortunately, there's been an incident where some construction project is taken in an intersection, so we had to temporarily suspend service until that project is done. It looks like to be a water main issue that came up. So as soon as that's cleared up, and I believe just today, yesterday, they opened up a lane, so it should be back up and running. The hours are differently. They mostly on the weekends and evenings, kind of different than it was on the transitway, which was mostly during the day. So, and already, even in our soft launch that we kind of did some testing, they were testing the vehicle out, they did get a lot of riders. So it's already not even officially started, and it's got a good buzz going. So, we encourage you to come out, take a look at that, and take a ride on that. Anything else? Did I miss anything? I think I got it all.
That was about it.
Go ahead. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you can't put wheelchair pads everywhere. I use the stop at Walgreens at Parsons and Brandon Boulevard. Okay. That sidewalk, the grass is, it's lowering. And that's where the ramp comes out. It does not even go up over the sidewalk. Is it a possibility we could get a wheelchair pad there?
That's on our list. I believe Dwayne and I, we went that route. That's that route that got extended out toward Parsons. Yes. So we had reviewed the Parsons area, and there are a list of landing pads that Dwayne's going to be doing.
Okay.
And we can definitely get that one in there. That shouldn't be a problem. That's probably going to have to wait until after January when we get our construction services contract going, because that would be something they would task out to them.
Okay.
They can easily do that.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Next, we're going to go back to Section 2 of the packet. You'll find the meeting minutes from the August 19th, 2021 ADA Accessibility Committee hybrid meeting. Are there any comments or corrections? I have one. The time that you have for the adjournment is wrong. If we start at 3 o'clock, we can't dismiss at 12:24. Any other corrections or admissions to it? If not, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Arizona motion.
Arizona, second?
Second.
Gloria. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes approved. All right. Next on the agenda is a roundtable discussion. Let's start around. Greg, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I think I've spoken enough. I'm good.
Okay. Gloria, would you like to?
Yes. I went to the National Federation of the Blind convention, and there was a panel for different fixed routes and over the Florida, the one from Lakes and Orlando in Seminole County, and also the West Palm Beach and Tampa. There was a gentleman, and I do not recall, but he came from Virginia, and he was there for representing HART. And I brought up something that I don't, again, if it can be fixed, it's worth bringing it up. And if it can't be, and HART Plus is good service. I use a lot not as much as when I worked 5 days a week, but I still use the HART Plus. But one of the things that was discussed at this meeting, it was at the weekend of the first weekend of October. It doesn't seem like time goes by, and then I was thinking it was just not too that long ago. But one of the people that there, I first asked the question that it was when those of us who got our shots, especially with the people that were the first people were the 65 and older, and those who don't have a car, the places where they had the shots and the people, the nurses and the people giving the shots. And this is important. You have to keep those expenditure of taking a shot. You are supposed to keep that in case. Right now, there's mandation about people. Not everyone is doing it, but a lot of people more have engaged in the shots. What happened when we asked about HART, about the getting a ride there, and when you got there at first there were lines. And so what we were told, if we used HART, that they couldn't wait for us, which I could understand. They're on a schedule. However, in Lynx and at Palm Tran, those that reported, they had a system where you would get there and then somebody would pick you up. In other words, they made it possible for people to be able to use their paratransit to get back and forth there and here. And if I'm wrong, I want to know. But what I was told is that if you would be dropped off, and there is no way to know how long you were. And I mean, it's true even now. We used to have will call, and now when we come back, and I'm glad to hear, Greg, that you're having 14,000. I'm glad to see that people are go back to using, because there's a lot of people that drive that probably shouldn't be driving, but they have no other choice. If you don't have qualify for transportation disadvantage, you have no. A lot of people there say driving, and on the interstate they're older, and not to say that everybody that has, but I think a lot of times people who wouldn't drive if they had. But anyway, go back to what I'm trying to talk about is, why couldn't HART find a way, even if it took 2 drivers, 2 trips, to help people who needed to take their shots?
You did that.
I can speak to that. We did make arrangements with the state site at the dog track. They did arrange for a drop-off location for us and a pickup location, and we were able to do exactly what you said, Gloria. You could schedule a trip to be taken there. They could have been dropped off, and then we would schedule you a pickup trip after a certain time period to get you back. But we did work with the state site and was able to do that. Now, the one that was at the fairgrounds and that, the Del Mabry Stadium campus, we weren't able to do that. But with the state site, we were able to do a pickup and drop there. They did have a dedicated area that they were allowing us to have the folks wait for the van to be coming back later on. So,
was it the whole the time or after a while or?
It was later on because the state site didn't open up right away. The county sites did first, but when the state site came back, because I actually reached out to them about that same exact issue, and they did provide us escorts and everything else to get us to and from that site, utilizing up there at the dog track.
Okay, so after the first time when I asked, I was told no.
It's probably later on. That's correct.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm glad to know that you did start it then.
Okay.
Gloria, this is Raquel. I'd also like to share that I attempted to also help some members of the NFB had some concerns about being able to have access to the testing as well as vaccination sites. And to my knowledge, the Florida Department of Health coordinated with the Transportation Disadvantage Program, and individuals could actually call Sunshine Line to request transport to those locations, the Dale Mabry site. That was arrangements that were made. I don't think that they were necessarily available at first. You know, many of the organizations were scrambling. This was unprecedented times, and they were trying to gather the resources. But I believe shortly after Transportation Disadvantage did coordinate and make that available, at least here in our area through Sunshine Line, if individuals can contact and request the services. So.
And if I may, the truth is that we contacted, because I believe it was because Raquel let me know, or somehow I found out that Raquel knew. I don't remember exactly, but we were able to use the Transportation Disadvantage, the county Sunshine Line, and we were taken there, and they waited for us to get our shots, and they took us home. So I did get the service, but like I said, I didn't know, Greg. I didn't know that you all started doing that. But it's if you don't have an automobile, and it's already anything that you have to do, you have to do a lot of planning then something like COVID, that's only bring it up because it is something important. People died because they didn't get their shots. So, and just that's why I wanted to bring it up. Thank you.
Okay. Karen?
Karen, nothing additional.
Arizona?
Yeah. Cool thing. What's going on today? Thank you, Big for helping with the ADA sign at the college center. What they had there, it was hard to put a driver to see. Now it looked so thank you for that.
No problem.
Also, I have an issue with one of your call tickets. I was going to the game, and I asked them to drop me off on the corner of Hines and then Hines and Temple Bay. Okay? And they did not put in the traffic where I wanted to get dropped off. So I got dropped off at Pennsylvania. And then it's not where you want to get dropped off. I just use Tampa Bay because the sidewalk and it's easy to cross. No, when I told the guy on the phone, he didn't want to argue with me. Well, we have a designated area. Yeah, I know that. But what I'm telling you, I didn't want to get it off. He didn't do it. So I called your driver, the one that was coming to get me back home, to get docked and traffic for an hour. Because luckily the lady knew who I was, and you had to come back around and go through all that again. But when it was a driver who did not know me, I would have known him. I probably would have left all the time. So if you can tell the call victims to listen to the opinions, they know a little bit more because they're out there. And this is different. And I'm trying to make it easier for the driver to find. I asked him to get the driver to call and to get back. He didn't put that in there either. So I waited for it. I waited in the bed. And I called this place. And the lady let me, well, looking for you for an hour. Alright. I gave Pacific into where I was. So I had to go all the way the way she was. And like you, people are leaving the games, they're drunk, they're not watching where they're going, there's no dog walk on the levee, all that. That's why I choose Pennsylvania Heights.
Okay.
Where I can get on the van quickly, the police they get you on, they know who they're coming to get. Cause I told the police, the van to be here at whatever time. When you do a hotline van, it's for me. And so when they call me, you van out there, I go right there, I get on, no problem. But one day, the difference between the car victims, I know who knew. I already know who knew. Okay. No, I'm not trying to get in any trouble, but the Wednesday, they need to learn how to listen to the treatment.
Okay. Afterward, we'll get with you and we'll get that the date and time, and we can get with Kimley and we can research and find out who it was so we can get the training to the...
Yeah, I already called in and do all that.
You already did? Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Scott?
Just to add to the discussion for the vaccination transportation, so the county early on, as a member, Sunshine Line as a member of the evacuation working group, we were contacted from the EOC to help coordinate the transportation for the disadvantaged. So all the sites, well, the call center for the vaccines, they knew if someone didn't have transportation, they were referred to our customer service line. And we had it to where they didn't have to be eligible for Sunshine Line. We would transport them if they were, a resident of the county. But that also gave us the opportunity, if they're using us, hey, let's screen them for eligibility at the same time. So we were able to do that. And if they're in the HART service area, we refer them to HART, but we'd still take them to the vaccine site. We also coordinated with each of the sites, the management there, when they were standing up, to come up with a mechanism so we didn't have to stand in the lines. We had a separate parking space. And then the nurses would come out to the bus, give the vaccine on the bus, and we'd wait that 20-minute waiting period there, just a phone call away for staff in case there was a bad reaction. and then we'd take everybody home. So that's how that was coordinated through Sunshine Line. And we're still doing actually vaccine trips to date, not as many as earlier. Another thing that we did was the quarantine and isolation site reverse transportation. We were asked to do the transportation to the sites, but we couldn't do that because people were sick and ill, so that became a medical transport, and Sunshine Line wasn't able to do that. But once they had 2 negative tests, and they needed to go back to their nursing homes, we would do that transportation back, regardless of if they were Sunshine Line clients or not. If they were county citizens, we would do that transportation. So that mechanism was there, and the communication point was through when they made the appointment. If they told them they didn't have transportation, that referral went to us. Just for clarification. And anytime there's questions about transportation between HART, Sunshine Line, or Transportation Disadvantage, feel free to give me a call. And, you know, Greg and I, we talk, and Kevin Lee and I, we talk all the time. Kevin Lee and my customer service manager, they're on speed dial with each other. So, all right, thank you.
Millie?
Maddie.
Raquel?
First, I'd like to thank Greg for your assistance in getting the paratransit sign at the county center. We really appreciate that. I know Arizona actually raised the concern that some of the drivers weren't quite aware of where the proper location would be, so I appreciate you working with the city and getting the sign there. I think that's going to be really helpful all around. Arizona, did the drivers have any concerns recently when you went to the county center at all? Were they able to find it?
I went to get it was good.
It was good. Okay. I did receive a concern from a community member who lives in Quarry Lakes, and I don't know if anybody could brainstorm and help me with some possible options. He's 76 years old, now uses a power wheelchair, and has concerns that there's really no accessible transportation up in Quarry Lakes, which is, North Tampa area. I looked on the map. It doesn't appear that there's any bus transportation services that far north, east. But if anybody or if HART might know of any viable options and such, I would love to have it so I might be able to share it with the community member. This actually came through Councilman Vieira's office.
I don't know. Somebody was talking online.
Okay. I didn't hear what that response was.
Hi, it's Melanie Williams. And there's a 275 that goes up to Wiregrass Mall. The bus there.
Okay, there's a bus that goes to the Wiregrass Mall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, 275.
Thank you.
Can you share that information with me after the meeting?
Thank you. Bus 275 to the Wiregrass Mall. Perfect. Thank you. I actually did offer Sunshine Line's contact information to Councilman Vieira's office, so they might be able to share it with a community member. Mm-hmm.
And then let me one more thing. I forgot to add. You know how you guys call and ask for how the last time you use your cast was good, just like that. But is there a way to give compliments or complaints to your cab, or do they going to come to you?
Yep. Kimberly, I'm sorry, Mike's over here. Kimberly does accept the complaints and the compliments for the Yellow Cab program, and then we forward it to them. If it's a compliment, we get it to their employee. If it's a complaint, they're required to give us a response within 10 working days, and then we can reach back out to you and give you the answer from them. So, yes, there is two-way communications there.
we got a call one time to the call center. I wanted to give a compliment to the driver. They said that I had to call a yellow cab with that.
No. Once again, I'll get with Kimley and we can make that happen because we take them every day. Kimley's responding to them. Kimley's responding to them on a daily basis for all the concerns that for our service over there because it is our service, so we're responsible for it. So we definitely will get the message to them or back from them for you.
That's what I thought. They gave me they had to call you again.
Okay.
Thank you.
I want to wish two of our members happy birthday, Scott Clark and Arizona Jenkins. Happy birthday, gentlemen.
Hey, happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Okay, the next part of the meeting is about the next meetings for 2022. In this section, you'll find the dates of the committee meetings. Are there any questions about any of the dates?
Same time period?
Same time.
Madam Chair, this is Carmen Babu.
Hello.
I just wanted to say something, if I may.
Sure.
I want to applaud the U.S. Department of Justice because they have a settlement agreement with Uber because Uber apparently was charging people with disabilities extra for the time it took them to transport them. And I think that it's ironic because typically what I've learned is that people with disabilities have to wait an hour or two to wait for the public transportation. So I just wanted to highlight that and just give kudos to the Department of Justice. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Is there any further business for this committee? Gloria?
I have some suggestions. I'm so thrilled that your numbers of writers keep increasing, Greg. And, I remember when there were almost $1,000 in persons a day. And I can remember some people that worked for HART that made up some suggestions, and they didn't have it. But I'm going to bring these up because that way they will be on your minutes. Maybe we can think about these later. There are a lot of things that people do, like going to the bank or getting a haircut, paying a bill very quickly, although I don't know how many people go to pay bill when, it's so easy to get through your bank. You can pay or I don't know what they call them. That's what they call it at my bank. But there are, I'm thinking of things where don't take an hour and a half. If you make a ride from one, say your home or some other place of work or something, and you have to decide that you're going to stay there an hour and a half because that's what the HART, and I don't know if the other do this, but my point is there are some trips that people make that are 30-minute trips. And if we could maybe look into study if there could be some 30-minute trips where you could be picked up and left there and picked up later after 30 minutes. Instead of having, if you're going to the bank, you're going to make a deposit, it's not going to take an hour and a half, for example. And I just want to bring that up as a suggestion of how HART can improve and increase their service. The other is that I mentioned earlier, the will call. If you go to, like I do, USF Health at Marsati, it's from my home, it's about 8 or 9 miles. It's way out, almost at Fletcher. And the problem is that you never ever know how long you're going to be there. It's the opposite of the bank thing. You're going to be there, I was there yesterday. I've had some eye problems in the last 2 weeks. And I got my brother, who wasn't working, to take me. But we got there at 9:30 and we didn't leave there until 12:30. And like if I set a write-up for that, let's say I get 11:30, there's 9 o'clock is the appointment. And I set up a lot of times I've had to cancel it. And if you have a lot of cancels, you know, there's, I think it's 3 times, I don't know if you look at, sometimes it's unavoidable that we have to cancel. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, that I try my best to make it a 3-hour trip if I think it's going to be there 3 hours. So that I just wanted to bring those things, how you could help your service as when you can. I realize right now when you have a lot of people not riding still, that this is not the time to start that. But I just wanted to bring it up. Thank you.
It's a good point, because I know when I go for lab work, you're only there a few minutes and you're in and out, but you're having to schedule an hour and a half. So that's why I take the cab. But there are longer trips that we need to make to get to those appointments. But again, we're only in there a short period of time. So I like the idea of like either a 30-minute trip or a will call thing, to come back. I think that would be a good suggestion.
Well, there always was a will call. They always had a will call. But when you're dealing with the doctors, they don't know how long it is. You're going to have to either take the cab or do what you can, because you got to realize we got other people to pick up. If you wait on one side of town, there's no way to get back to you in the minutes. So when I go to the doctor, I know I'm going to be here because I have to wait. If I don't want to wait, call a cab. But what you can also do is tell your doctor, we can make the appointment. Look, I don't drive. I don't want to stay here and wait. So the quicker you get me in, the quicker I can get my life. And usually, they should understand that you don't drive, they get in and get you out. Now, when you go to the bank, I also go to the bank, because I don't like to go, I don't like to do online. I can, but I don't like to do online banking. I like to go inside. The people won't get more money. So, I book it up after about 15, 20 minutes. So you don't have to know how to use the system. That's one of the reasons why we join together, so we help you gotta get where you need to go. And also help the driver will not be able, you don't have to wait so long. I know you don't want to get the cab because it's $20 on the wall or whatever. But sometimes you have to do that. So, I mean, you gotta weigh your options. Which one is more money? Way too early or get the money. That's how I look at it.
I'll get with him.
Okay. Any other business that needs to be taken up? If not, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too.